As we all know, Trump and the Republican Party's entire existence revolves around one simple thing: projection. We have recently Katie Porter and James Comer actually teaming up to solve one problem. One side's doing it simply for the projection aspect, the other side's doing it because it needs to happen. James Comer, for the first time in his career, I agree with him when he said, "The Presidential Ethics Reform Act, landmark bipartisan legislation, delivers the transparency and the accountability the American people deserve to ensure the public offices are not for sale. Influence peddling is a cottage industry in Washington, and we've identified deficiencies in current law that have led to a culture of corruption. By creating this bipartisan legislation to provide greater transparency to the financial interactions related to the office of the president and the vice president, we can assure that moving forward, American presidents, vice presidents, and their family members cannot profit from their proximity to power." As stated by Chairman James Comer, the gentleman in charge of the 16-month impeachment farce against Joe Biden. This particular act that was drawn up with Katie Porter is very much so they can pretend that they're taking public corruption and governmental corruption seriously. He jumped on this, put this bill up as we're going to get Joe and Hunter Biden. And see, American people, we're concerned about Joe and Hunter Biden. But it's similar to when Donald Trump in his presidency did that big thing when, sent Hillary to jail and the mishandling of classified information. He actually made it mandatory for a sentence for mishandling classified information of 5 years, I believe it was. And after the investigation and everything else showed there wasn't anything to prosecute for, but he made a big stink out of that bill. And they did it specifically to go after political enemies, very much like this. There is also a second bill that Katie Porter did on her own with the Democrats that actually forces family members and cabinet members and everything else to have their finances reviewed 2 years before, during the term, and then 2 years after, and automatic punishments. Now, that particular version is not going to go through under the Republican Congress. It's just not going to happen because that bill also includes the Katie Porter Democrat bill, the second one to this, also includes cabinet members, Senate, the whole 9 yards. So all of them are included in this non-corruption bill that the Democrats want to put up if this one does not go through, or expand on it to make it once it does go through. But again, projection at its finest, and it gives the Democrats an opportunity to basically call them on their bullshit and say, okay, let's do that. And it applies to your guy too. So yeah, Democrats get the House. After the election, we will have accountability all throughout the House, all throughout Senate, all throughout everything. That will affect some Congress people and senators on the Democratic side. They're not perfect, not even close, but it is nothing compared to the Republican side. On that note, there are charges that may be coming, federal charges for specific Congress people and senators due to the Jack Smith January 6th stuff. So there's a lot going on now that's being put up. The Jack Smith is on its own, obviously, but this particular bill is something that's very necessary and needs to be pushed through. So let's just sit back and see how everybody votes on it. All right. Stay diligent, stay educated, be kind. We are all in this together. We got this.